Bang, we're live. How you going, guys? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking to Stewy Worth from Odin's Warriors Motorcycle Club. We've got a new section called Aussie Biker News, and as always we're going to be doing Dick of the Week, and I'm going to talk to you about Twitter. You can see the little sign down there. We'll talk about that in a minute. Rightio. So first up, you see that little Twitter thing down the bottom there. What that is a live feed straight to our page, and so if you tweet something and I've followed you, then I can whack it straight up on the live feed for everyone to see. I get to pick and choose who goes up there. So at the moment I've just got one up from Trudy, and so you have to. I have to be following you. So to do that, if you go on Twitter and search for @Benno Hunter or Hunter Motorcycles, you may find us. But that's sort of what it's going to look like. And do that, and I'll keep an eye on the notifications over here. And if I get any new notifications, I will follow you, and then you can post and we can have a bit of fun, make this a little bit more interactive. Like I can always, obviously you've got doing Facebook posts and stuff like that, and I can keep an eye on that, but this way I can whack it straight up on the live screen for everyone to see. Rightio, our favourite section of the day, Dick of the Week. And there's been a couple of contenders this week. It was a pretty tough choice. There's been a whole bunch of messages coming through to our Facebook page, and I struggled with it a little bit. Like, I promise you, if you send me a message to my personal Facebook page, Ben Hunter, I will not broadcast your messages. I may show the photos to my friends, but I will not broadcast your messages. Now, but if you, on the other hand, send them to my business page, I think that's open slather. So we've got a couple. I've limited it down to 2 contenders, and what I thought I'd do this week is let you guys pick who is Dick of the Week. First contender is Tristan Blewett. Oh, so this is a message from Tristan Blewett I got. I watch your live broadcast, and this day and age, I think your Dick of the Week award is nothing short of bullying. If you can't accept the opinions of others, then maybe Facebook isn't the place for you. Wah wah. I have reported you and encourage others to do the same, and we can have this rubbish permanently removed from the internet. Oh, you big crybaby. So if you want to vote for him, send us a thumbs up. So I'll just bring that up again. So that's Tristan Blewett. Do a like, a thumbs up, and I'll count up the likes. And right, the next one is from Mark Lennox. So this is a post on our Facebook page. This wasn't a message. In response to a video that I put up of the police laying down the law, just letting people know that they were going to harass social motorcycle riders. And Mark says, "Good job, police. Keep the scums who pay no tax and leech off all the rest of us off our streets, infecting our kids with their dog pack mentality." Oh, Mark, you are a winner. So if you want to vote for Mark's for Mark to be Dick of the Week, then send across a love heart, and I'm going to count up likes versus love hearts, and we'll see whether it's Mark or Tristan that become our Dick of the Week. And prizes for Dick of the Week, 4-pack of Hunter Motorcycle stickers. Now you can stick these anywhere, and they're clear, right? So I'll just show you. Put one off. Right, so whatever you stick it on, you can see through the sticker. You stick that on your Commodore, and you are going to turn that old thing into a chick pulling machine. I've got them stuck all around the place. I love them. Have a look at this. That's my plant for in the shed. Hunter Motorcycle sticker rocks, doesn't it? So to win one, all you have to do is be a giant big bag of dicks. And so let's have a look over here, and we'll see what kind of response we're getting. Who are you guys voting for Dick of the Week? Right. You're just going to have to bear with me a few minutes, folks, because I'm seeing angry faces, guys. No smiley faces aren't going to work. I know, like, you may be very happy to see me, but what we need is for Tristan, we need a thumbs up. To vote for Tristan for Dig of the Week. To vote for Mark for Dig of the Week, we need love hearts. Alright, so I'm just back over here having a look. Oh, seeing quite a few love hearts. Yeah, I think the love hearts have got it. So, Mark Lennox, you are officially our Dig of the Week. Good job keeping the scums who pay no tax and leech off all the rest of us off our... Like, that ride that in particular that they were talking about, that he's talking about on that thread, was predominantly veterans and Vietnam veterans and God Squad. And the one member of an outlaw motorcycle club that was there is a concreter, tax-paying concreter. God, makes me mad. Oh, hang on, we're getting a lot of thumbs up. Oh, we might have to give out 2 Dicks of the Week awards. Not sure what to do. Hey, don't forget our Twitter feed there. So tweet something to me. I'm just going to have a quick look at Twitter here and see if anybody's done anything that I know. Okay, give me a second. No one's tweeted anything through to me by the look. Oh, hang on. I'm on 60 seconds delay there, so maybe they have. Fraggle 73. Yep, that's not... that's nothing. Rightio. Okay. Now, as promised, got a news section this week called Aussie Biker News, and one of the comments I've been getting through is I need to step it up with the professionalism a little bit. To that, I don't think so. I think I probably need to relax a little bit more than anything, but I've brought up this... I built it... Well, look, I built a whole new TV studio and to do the news from, and as everything that I do, it's a work in progress. It'll get better, but bear with me and check this out. I love it. For a record, 929,000 No, that's not the one. Bucks. Vincent's one of my personal favourite motorcycles, and I'd like to credit. Oh, so I pre-recorded it, obviously. Just give me a second. I just got to preview it up. It was on a loop, so... Alright. You're still going to love it. Okay, but you got to watch it from the start to love it more. It's Wednesday, 14th of March, and you're watching Aussie Biker News. And how good is this joint? I'm just going to give you some brief news headlines of things that I think are interesting. It's not a fully comprehensive news broadcast by any means. Vietnam veterans have had a huge week this month. Magic got pushed by that cop and got Australian-wide and international coverage for that. They had their motorcycle, trike and sidecar show. Also passing of life member Animal, and condolences to the club and to friends. Aussie motorcycle tops world's most valuable list. A 1951 Vincent Black Lightning, on which Jack Everett set an Australian speed record, has topped the list of the world's most valuable motorcycle and the biggest increase in value. The bike's now returning to Australia after being bought on Australia Day in 2018 at the Bonham's annual Las Vegas motorcycle auction for a record 929,000 US bucks. Vincent's one of my personal favourite motorcycles, and I'd like to credit Mark Hinchcliffe from motorbikerider.com for contributing the article. Thanks, Mark. Harley and Indian to get bitten by Trump big tariffs. This one's also credited to Mark from Motorbike Rider. It's motorbikerider.com. Prices of Harley-Davidson and Indian motorcycles could rise after President Donald Trump announced import tariffs of 25% on steel and 10% on aluminium. How much imported steel and aluminium goes into their bikes is not known. However, the US investment firm Wedbush Securities estimates the increased import tariffs could add up to $30 million a year in cost to Harley-Davidson alone. That is if they're not manufacturing all their bikes in India by next year. Couldn't help that one. Army veteran sues over alleged police assault. Thanks again to Mark Hinchcliffe from motorbikerider.com. The Army veteran at the centre of a controversy in which police allegedly harassed participants in a charity ride has rejected a police response to his formal complaint and plans to sue for the assault. Magic, 58, of Brisbane, of the Veterans Motorcycle Club Australia, Brisbane chapter, says he was assaulted by Senior Constable Murphy of the New South Wales Police Strike Force Raptor. There's been a lot of encouragement for Magic on our pages and on many over the internet, and good to see you doing something about this and taking the fight right to Mark. Go for it. You've been watching Aussie Biker News with Ben Hunter. Yes, I'm pretty slick, I know, and professional. I think it's all the encouragement you guys have given me. Oh, look, I've got a few shout-outs. I've been looking at Facebook here. Hey, Phil Bullock's just joined. G'day, Phil. And I saw Georgie on there before. Hey, Georgie. Neen, Multony, haven't seen you for a long time, and good to see you on there. Jackson, what are you doing? You're probably cringing. I'm sure you're just sitting there going, oh, Dad, shut up. Faisal and Lena. Always here, Lena. Great to see you along again. Don't forget, guys, see those Twitter comments there? Nobody's written another one, not even my Trudy. So you can write a comment, and it's going to come up, bang, on the live feed. And I'll just do a refresh on my Twitter feed here and just see if there's anything, if anybody's taken me up on it. Oh, for it to work, I have to be following you. So if I'm not following you, follow me first. It'll come up in my notifications, then I can follow you. And if you think this is just some cheap tactic to build up Twitter followers from Hunter Motorcycles, you could damn well be right. Alrighty, as promised, I am going to go and talk to Stewy Worth. We've got him on standby there. Hey Stewy, I'll just see if I can bring his screen up. Don't forget, guys, Twitter away, and I'll put them up for you. Anything you want to say. If you want to ask Stewy a question, you could tweet it to him, and you might get an answer. You never know. See how you go. All right, I'll go over there. I'll just see if I can bring Stewy's screen up. Let's go. Got Stewy Worth here, spokesman for the Odin's Warriors Motorcycle Club in Queensland. And welcome, Stewy. Good to have you along.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Benno. Been a long time between drinks, of course.
It has been,
back a fair way. But, yeah, I like what you're doing for us, mate.
So some of your guys have been done. They were the first to get done under the Vlad laws. What happened there? What was the situation? What was the charges, and what happened?
We're all warned by the coppers that would be it. We wouldn't be allowed anywhere near our clubhouses. They'd be prescribed premises. Now, these two of our members actually lived in a flat out the front of the clubhouse in Cairns, which was two separate addresses though. One was A and one was a B address.
So that was a unit that was right next to the clubhouse, is that right? Or
yeah, just out the front of the clubhouse. You went down beside the unit to get to the actual clubhouse. So the story behind that, Benno, they actually went and saw the coppers on the Saturday morning and said, one of them did, and said, how do we stand here? And they said, no, it's a different address. You're sweet, you'll be right. Just don't go in the clubhouse. Anyway, half an hour later, a couple of detectives come down and locked them up, banged them for being on prescribed premises, while a member of a declared organisation they are. They weren't using Outlaw Motorcycle Club designation then, it was just a declared organisation. We in Queensland, Odin's Warriors, we own some of our clubhouses and we rented some of them, we leased them. So once they were declared, we weren't allowed to turn up at them, even the ones we owned. So we basically had to stay away from them. So if we wanted them cleaned or anything like that, we had to get a contractor in to get them cleaned and stuff like that, because they were under heavy surveillance. They were just waiting for one of us to turn back up there. Couldn't even go and clean the fridges out really or anything like that. And these are clubhouses.
I think the cops cleaned the fridges out for you, didn't they?
They did on a few occasions, yes. Didn't even invite us to the party, but anyway. As far as organised crime goes, it's been my experience with bike clubs, mate, flat out organising a barbecue, let alone, they've spent $250 million, I think, in the last 5 years trying to control us, and so it's a lot of money.
So how many bikies are there in Queensland, do you reckon?
Depends on who you ask.
Well, okay, so if you ask the cops, how many bikies are there in Queensland?
If you ask the coppers, they had a thing in the paper the other day that said they reduced our numbers from 1,146 down to 500 and something, and they're claiming to be successful, you know?
Rightio, so just let me do some numbers here, mate. So you said they've spent how much? 250 million?
250 million is the last report I got, in 5 years. They keep asking for more and more, and the government keeps giving them more and more.
So that's $500,000 per bikie, and they've had no impact on organised crime. So
no,
you
in
think
fact, it went up. One of our members sent several messages away to the Mayor of the Gold Coast as well as the police, and said, can they explain the 17% increase in crime since the Black Laws came in? Because that's the facts. The coppers themselves were saying we've had a 17% increase in crime. And at the same time, we weren't there and they're blaming us. So, you know.
Yeah, interesting. I'm pretty sure the way that things are for patch members these days, if you had $500,000 to throw at them, a lot of them would gladly hand their patch in and go and live another life.
More than likely, we'd probably negotiate it. I think I'd want a bit more than $500,000 for mine, but there'd be room for negotiation there. But in reality, Benno, it comes back to the blurring of the separation of powers. I've heard you speak about this before, but that's really what we've got happening all over Australia at the moment now. They're just making rubbish rules up on the run as they go. When you put clubs together, you've got the probably the greatest collection of alpha males that you'll see in Australia anyway, because we just don't take any shit type of blokes, you know. That's just what we are, and that's why we like each other. So
you've gone out on a limb and run for office, I believe.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what I did. I had a moment, I suppose, last year, and I said, look, this. When you think about it, it's all political. Ben. Like in all honesty, what we're doing is fighting a political fight. So we need to get to the politicians for it. It's no good banging off against the coppers. That's an administrative fight or a legal fight. We need to have a political fight, and only the politicians are involved in the political fight. Right?
That's it. So get on down to your local member, and voice an opinion. You don't if you haven't got the guts to go down and see them yourself, write them a letter. They read their letters, and at least you're doing something.
Challenge every Australian to find if they honestly believe that they can go to the politician, their local member, take 10 of their friends. I challenge every Australian, convince 10 of your friends to do the same, and we will win this fight.
Okay, now friend request.
Tap the friends icon up there, invite some of your mates, invite all your mates. Type them a quick message to tell them that we are awesome and hit that send button.
Do you want to invite a friend to watch?
Okay, now friend request.
So just tell us about what the things that Stewy Worth stood for when he ran as an independent.
Yeah, when I went in there, I was very clear. I was absolutely sick of the members that went in there with good intentions, and then they had to get a written note off their masters in Brisbane before they said anything or did anything or promised anything, you know. And I said, well, Stewy Worth, I'll go in there as an independent. My voice will always be my voice. No one buys my voice. I will stick up for the minorities, but I will predominantly listen to what the majority of the people in my electorate want, and I'll go down there. But
can you ever imagine a situation where what you think is best, the greater good for your electorate, and what your bulk of your voters want is opposed or diametrically opposed to what your club brothers want?
Possibly
Tough question.
At time. Tough question, yeah. Possibly at time, but most of my club. Look, my club brothers are pretty much similar to me. We're all working men, you know. We work. They've done studies. 80% of clubbies in Queensland, I think, have no criminal record whatsoever. I think it's like 80% or something like that. I certainly don't have one. I know that. I don't have any criminal record. And a lot of the guys we've got up north here don't have criminal records. You know, there are one or two. But I'm a member of I'm a vice captain of the golf club, Benno. As well, mate.
Things, mate.
Yeah, and there's probably some members in there with a criminal record, you know. And I've been in football clubs and cricket clubs and sailing clubs and fishing clubs. They've all got criminal records.
And I guess that's and I've spoken to you about this before. It's one of the reasons that you're so vocal about these issues is, I know you can fly under the radar, it affects your lifestyle, and you can sort of get through this relatively unscathed, but it's a matter of what it means for the working man at large, or, not necessarily the working man, just the common Australian. And so you're not only standing up for the rights of your own yourself and your own guys, but for all Australians, and I guess that's part of the impetus for you running as an MP, yeah?
Exactly, and that's something a lot of people don't realise. If we don't stand up, if strong men don't stand up for the rights of these other people, they're just going to railroad them. And we're just starting to see indicators of that now. I know there's the CFMPU. If I go in there, they're out of the mine that I work at. Now, there's an organisation called the Australian Building Corruption Commission, I think it's called,
ABCC. Yep.
Have now made a ruling where they've banned them from wearing the Eureka flags that you see lots and lots of bikers around with them on, like they banned them on construction sites for that. They banned them from wearing an insignia that says I'm a member of the union, same as they banned us from wearing our insignia. So they're already starting to delve into the greater issues.
There's an old saying, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm not sure who said it, but they came for the unionists and I didn't stand up because I wasn't a unionist. They came for the Jews, I didn't stand up because I wasn't a Jew. Or they came for the bikies, I didn't. And okay, I might have made a fair bit of that up, but that's the gist of it. But that's pretty much what's happening. Yes. All right. So shout out to Lena, who's just joined us on Twitter. I haven't got your feed coming up yet, but shouldn't be too far away. So anyone else out there, if you want your comments to come up live on my live, you can join Twitter. Follow us on Twitter, and I will follow you back. And I'm right smack in the middle of following Lena back, so she's on there, and we'll see if she has commented. Hang on a second. Yeah, look. So if there's anything that you want to say about, talk to Stuart about, or myself, you're welcome to. Or if you just want to hang a bit of shit and maybe win Dick of the Week award, go for your life. You never know your luck. We'll cross back to Stewy.
Quite frankly, these blood laws, which are still in power, by the way, they're due for repeal in November this year. So the Labor Party got in 2015, said they were going to repeal these laws, probably got in on the back of that. A lot of people said, yeah, that's a good thing, we'll vote for you. They got into a minority government situation there. Said they would repeal the laws and didn't. They brought their own laws in, which were the association laws as we see them now, rather than the blood laws, and restricted premises and fortification laws. They brought the whole lot in. And they got some really weird wording around the legislation. Benno, if I could just relate something, my own personal house here doesn't exclude it from any of these laws. So they have a definition of what a restricted premises is, and if one recognised offender, which we all are, is in premises, on that premises, it then becomes a restricted premises, and that in itself gives the coppers to visit that, walk in without warrant as many times as they wish, to investigate that and seize prohibited items. So the law currently sits at the moment that the coppers can just walk into this house pretty much, and take what they want, including all my colours and paraphernalia that I might have for clubs.
Sure.
And stuff like that.
And there's always, like from the very start, there's been a murky area around who is a member of a prescribed organisation and who isn't. And I remember I read the earliest draft when the Vlad laws first came out, and there wasn't many people that you could exclude from being a member, because it's not a patch wearing one percenter. It's not. You don't have to hang around a bar and nom for a year to become a member in the police eyes. Women can become members. They're listed as associate members under the law. Not you guys don't recognise them as members, obviously, but what the police call members or associates, and it's clearly written in there. It says members or associates, and so.
That's right. Past members, prospective members, nominees, prospects, associates, and I think their dogs and cockatoos are probably involved as well. So.
Yeah. That was got that, what's his name? That Raptor 13, Budgie 12, they call him, tried to do a shot for not having a license for a macaw, which is, there's not even a law about it. But
Really?
yeah.
He is an absolute tosser. I'll go in public and say that. He is an absolute tosser. That guy.
Yeah,
Come and get me, Budgie. Come and get me, mate.
He should have won our Dick of the Week award, I think.
He should have got it.
Yeah.
I think he should have got life membership of the Dick of the Week award. He has overstepped the mark so far. I had a look at that, and that's the sort of crap that we're up against, right? I had a look at that, and I would urge Magic is his name, Magic, to go and launch a private prosecution against him. He can just go and launch a bench warrant on him and make him appear in court. He's got all the evidence there, and just take him for assault. You know, like,
he is suing him. He's going through the process at the moment. So yeah,
correct. Yeah.
That's good
because
news.
if you go through their disciplinary procedure in the coppers, all you got is coppers defending coppers, and this is where the whole thing gets a bit cloudy and people get all confused because they're underinformed. They're not stupid. They're just underinformed with the law. And they don't realise their rights under the law, and they just get all confused, Benno,
Well, it's a good point because, I mean, not many of us do. We don't study the law so that we know how to go about our daily business. What we do is we have a understanding of the moral basis of how we should conduct ourselves, and that's what we operate by. And we just trust in the fact that if you do the right thing, you'll be right. Not necessarily knowing what the law is and what the law isn't. And I know you're fairly happy to challenge any law that gets used against you. And what happened the other week when you went to court for, was it speeding offence they got you for, or?
Oh yeah, people just don't. They just take these offences and pay the fine and go. Well, I just refuse to do that. I've got about 70% success rate in challenging these things. The coppers, as a whole, they don't want to spend $1,500 to get $200 off me to start with. But you just plead not guilty, and you go and turn up there. Well, I was overtaking the vehicle, and this copper came and booked me for 124 and 100 zone. And the Queensland law, they don't even know the Queensland law. Section 124 deals with overtaking. Section 120, I think it is, deals with speeding. So I took it to court and said, well, I'm overtaking, and I proved to them that this law was it almost 10 to 1 said what not to do rather than what to do. So it was prohibited by nature, the Act, the Queensland Traffic Act or Road Use Management Act, is prohibited by nature. It tells you what not to do. But it didn't tell me not to speed while overtaking. So the magistrate basically threw it out, and it was quite a funny turn of events. But I said, I've got more here, Benno. I said, I've got more here, Judge, And he said, just save it for next time, mate, because there's probably going to be one.
There will be, no doubt there will be. Yeah. But that's something that... a lot of people don't realise now, the number plate recognition software that they have, and they've got a heap of cars kitted out with it. It's not just a matter of they see Stewy Worth's car drive past and think, oh, we'll hassle him out. They have an alert and 200 number plates per. Oh, look, I'm going to be lying if I say the stats. It was maybe 200 per minute it can analyse. So as it's driving along in traffic, something like that, as it's driving along in traffic, every single car, if there's a car that's owned by an unregistered user or whatever, they know who to target, and these flags come up, and so every time you guys go out on the road, it's bang.
And many of us have been pulled up by that. I was relating to you before a bit of a story. When I was running for Parliament, I had my own private vehicle with Stewy Worth, independent candidate for Hill on the side of it and everything like that. And they pulled me up. And they looked at their book and their screen and said, oh, you're running for Parliament. And I thought to myself, what a tremendous bit of detective work. I've got these big signs on the side of the car, But they worked it all out. And it's just the type of thing that, that we're dealing with. They do have this technology. They have lots of other. They visit our houses regularly, you talk to different members and that. It's a bit of a standing joke, have you had anyone round for coffee lately? And sort of thing. And they turn up, and if I'm not here, they'll leave their card. It might be, Detective Inspector Gary Futterknuckle or something. But, my standard operation is from there. I go up to their clubhouse and present a card and say, does this clown work here? I'm just verifying facts, So, yeah, just
Why not?
oh, why not? They're doing the same. So. But I would like to get back to your point. It's very important that people realise, Ben, that this is not about clubbies. This is the laws are there about the clubbies. They say nothing about motorcycle clubs or gangs or whatever. You'll never hear me call our club a gang. It's not a gang. It's a motorcycle club. We're coming up 50 years. You know, there's 1971 we were formed, and nearly 50 years. And I pointed this out to several politicians. I said the only political party in Australia that's been around as long as Odin's Warriors is the Labor Party. And all the rest of them are Johnny come lately, so pull your head in a bit, you know. So it's just facts.
Look, it's a really good point. And while you're on that, and I don't want to forget this, point that needs to be made is police have their own media liaison department, and it's basically a propaganda machine that's pumping stuff out there, and it's serving a political agenda. So once upon a time, this is only, and I'm going back, only a decade, police referred to outlaw motorcycle clubs as clubs, then it changed very quickly to outlaw motorcycle gangs, then it changed to criminal outlaw motorcycle gangs.
And legal.
Illegal outlaw,
legal.
So they just increased the acronyms. It's OMCG, whatever now, and then we've added vicious lawless on top of that.
That's correct.
And they're all things that they constantly refer to you guys as that in the media, just to keep the public mindful of the fact that they're chasing bad guys, and so they're doing all this for their protection.
Yeah, well, the whole modus operandum of the political parties, of course, is they need to invent an enemy. So the only way they can stay in power is to invent an enemy and then say, we are the only people that can save you from this enemy. So crime is always any government that's losing power will put up crime and they fight against crime. And they put us up because, there's a bit of a popular belief that we're involved in this crime and stuff like that. The records don't back it up,
Yes, very interesting. We're going to stick with Stuart for a while. Just got a couple of shout-outs to do. G'day, Rick. Back again. Rick's joined every one of our lives, I think. And, super cool dude from Hunter Motorcycles in Indonesia. And also Cracker. How you going, Cracker? Haven't seen you on here before. Good to have you along, and hope you enjoy the conversation. We'll be back to Stuart real soon. So any other... Oh, don't forget Twitter. So it's not really happening this time because I think what happens is if I follow you, it takes a while for the bullshit to recognise itself from whatever. So if you're a new follower, it's going to take a while for this thing to pick it up. But I'm getting other Twitter feeds through, so it's definitely working. Cool. That's all the shout-outs. Give us a like if you're enjoying the show, and say good day to... go on Twitter and say good day to Stewy, and we'll see you again shortly.
And what I've got to say about the media is every time that our clubhouse has been raided, Benny, the Channel 7's there, Channel 9's there, Channel 10's there. Mate, we didn't ring them up and say, I think we're about to get raided, turn up. It's the coppers the coppers contact them. It's all orchestrated. They get in the best light. They sit there, and what you've got is a classic case. You've got the politicians and the police pissing all over us, and the media there is trying to convince us that it's raining. There's nothing there, and that's exactly what's happening. And some of the mistruths they get told in the paper. I challenged one recently. And I'll name it. The Gold Coast Bulletin came up with a story with the head of Maxima at the time, which was Mick Nillen, and he came out with a statement, the very statement that they very successful against the outlaw motorcycle gangs. They reduced their numbers from, like I said before, 1,100 to 500 and something. What he said, but then went on to say was, we know who they all are, so they've identified us. And then the outstanding statement was, they are all involved in extortion, drug trafficking, murder, all sorts of stuff. Just basically accusing me of that. So I did a bit of research, and I wrote to his boss, who was the Minister for Police, and I said, listen, clown, there's two ways we can go about this. If you've got this evidence against me, right, come around and arrest me, gather your evidence, put me before a jury of my peers, find me guilty, if you can, get the evidence. If he's making it up, and I think it's Section 7 of the Crimes Act, I'm not real sure, there's an offence called criminal defamation. And I said, if he's making it all up, I want that officer charged with criminal defamation. Now,
well, they can't have it two ways. It's either defamation and you're guilty.
Right?
Either defamation right. Or you're guilty and you should be charged.
That's exactly right. And I've got no problem with them charging someone if they suspect someone, or they have proof, not suspect, if they have proof that someone's trafficking drugs or something like that. They got the Drugs Misuse Act, Benno. Drugs Misuse Act. Go and take them. They don't need crappy new laws.
Well, that's it. We have laws for it. And there's a good reason, and I'd actually forgotten about this until just recently. I can remember it coming when the Vlad laws came into Queensland, and people were going, why Queensland? Like, is bikies are a real problem in Queensland, or what was it? They only have one House of Parliament in Queensland, so you can push laws through a lot easier. So exactly. You push a law through in one state, you test that law. If you win, if it's unchallenged or you win, then that is precedence. That legislation has been tested and it works in that state, so they can take that legislation then and mirror it in other states. So a way of controlling the whole country, target the bikies in Queensland, and then one state after another. That's right.
And it's all about social engineering and just controlling people, more and more so. Now, to carry on a bit, I'll tell you how orchestrated it is. They tested consorting laws in some states. They tested fortification laws in other states. Like South Australia got heavy fortification laws. They tested the association laws in Queensland. They'll test different stuff. Victoria, they will not test any laws because they have a Bill of Rights, Benno. And we don't have a Bill of Rights, and nor does any other state. And we're one of the few countries in the world that don't, democratic countries under the Westminster democratic system, that don't have a Bill of Rights. And it's damaging us. And they keep convincing the general public that we don't need a Bill of Rights because they make laws that are fair and honest and all this, and they get reviewed. Well, that's crap. The Labor Party do have review committees. They enact laws, or they propose laws. They do a green paper, second reading, all that. They put it to committees, and it is reviewed. But those reviews, and I've been to plenty of them, and I've written to them, I've put on submissions and all that, they pretty much ignore you, and they are pandering to the people who they're supposed to be telling what to do. It really is the tail wagging the dog.
Sorry to interrupt you, mate, but who's lobbying for a Bill of Rights? So obviously, motorcycling community. I've heard there's a few people there saying that we need a Bill of Rights. Who else in the country is lobbying for a Bill of Rights?
Well, I don't think there's many that are doing it, because they don't see any importance in it. They don't see it as our protected. It should be just held sacred, our Bill of Rights. It's our rights and our right to walk as a human being on this land and live in a way that suits us, as long as we commit no offence against another person. If we commit offence or we offend someone, well then let's hold them accountable. It's my belief they reckon public safety or there could be public violence and stuff like that. As I've said to you before, mini skirts and alcohol lead to more public violence than any old grey bikie wearing a T-shirt,
Yeah, it's a really good point.
We do realise that there's better ways to do it now. We need to fight them with their own weapons. What I cannot get through to people, Benno, and I really urge everybody listening to this, it's a political battle. And as a political battle, we have to get to the politicians. They're the only people that can change the laws. So I keep telling people, have you been to see your local member? Have you been to written to your local member? Go and see him. Find out when the Parliament's not sitting. Make an appointment, go there, bang on his door and say, these laws are crap. And the important thing to say is, if you don't do something and vote against them, you're not getting my vote next time, and I'm going to tell 20 other people not to vote for you. Because that's all they understand, Benno.
That's a really good point, because there's people all over Facebook going, this is shit, that's shit, and that's a pretty Australian thing to do, to have a bit of a bellyache about it. But it doesn't help. What helps is actually, like you said, there's a call to action right there, guys. go and see your local member of parliament and tell him what you think about this.
I'll challenge everyone that's listening to your show. Yeah, do it. Go and do it, and then throw up on Facebook. Not this is shit, but throw up on Facebook and say I went to see the the member for Bidwood or whatever the other day, and this is what he said. At least prove to everybody this is what you've done, because it's the only way we'll get it through. These governments are just rubbish. They've got a schedule of clubs. There's a schedule of clubs. There's 29 clubs in Queensland that are listed as declared organisations. As you probably already know, one of them doesn't even exist. About 3 of them are, defunct, pretty much defunct. They've never lifted one club off that list, right? I'll call on the government right now. If you're going to prove that your laws are working and you're controlling bikies, you need to start removing clubs from that list. Otherwise, you've proved nothing. You've proved nothing.
It's an interesting point, and we're constantly getting new laws, new legislation passed through quickly. Every politician's trying to make his mark on the world by having legislation that he has pushed through or she has pushed through, and no laws are getting removed. There's irrelevant laws there from dating back to the dark ages that we still have there that can still be used against us or inappropriately.
Piracy. You're not a pirate, are you?
No, well...
You're not allowed to associate with a pirate. The reason I ran for politics was just the craziness of it all. I saw like smoking rule. Smoking rule around pubs is an absolute classic, right? They drew a red line on the side of on the footpath and said you can smoke on this side, but you can't smoke on that side because it's dangerous, And I looked at it and I said, this is the matter. You might as well have a pissing section in your pool, like that's just crazy.
Oh, I love it.
Get down the end there and have a piss, because and that law, like heaps of pages. It should have been just one word, one sentence. It should have been, if someone asks you to put your smoke out and you refuse, you've offended them and you'll be charged. That's as simple as that. If no one asks you to put your smoke out, you haven't offended anyone. And that's what we've lost sight of, Benno, the offence side of the law. We haven't offended anyone. A lot of us, like the vast majority of us, have not offended anyone, yet we've been treated differently under the law because of who we are, not what we've done. It's actually legal for me to wear a lime green mankini, walk through a supermarket, carrying a chainsaw, with a swastika in one hand and an ISIS flag in the other, and I offend no one. No one. But if I wear this T-shirt, right, I get 6 months jail. Well, how fucked is that? How fucked is that,
Hey, it's pretty fucked. I'm just trying to remove the image of you in a green mankini, but
oh, you've seen it before. You know you have.
Yeah, and it's and it's getting that way that you might not be able to do this for much longer.
No, very true. Like that. Well, the new association rules, if they want to put some warnings on me about associating with other known offenders, as they call them, how can they call it a known offender anyway? I'm not an offender. I haven't offended. I've got no record. How can they call you a known offender? And so if they give me warnings in Queensland, a couple of warnings and shit like that, I won't be able to communicate. If they put a warning on you not to talk to Stewy anymore, right, then you commit a crime if you do that, even via this medium here. And that's where we're going, and it's just rubbish, and people need to wake up to themselves and start taking back their rights. Every human has a right to walk on this planet. Don't offend anyone, but do what you like. And we're losing that. And Australia was built on it. Australia was bloody built on that philosophy. But that's the way it is, Benno. And I'm sick of it. I don't want it to be like that. I'm getting old, but I want to see it change before I get dead,
Yeah, but look, kudos to you for standing up and standing up for what you believe in, as I know you, and I know you always have, but putting yourself out there in the public, and it's a lot of work to stand for office, going out and putting signs up and putting yourself out there and talking to people. And I had a look at your Facebook page, was just going mental with there's quite a few crazy people on there that had stupid things to say, and all those people have to be addressed, and you did so diplomatically.
And you need to be diplomatic. That's just there. And it taught me a lot about self-control. And I used to often, I often said to people, most lessons are best learnt with broken teeth. That's the way I grew up. That's why I haven't got many teeth anymore, because I learned a lot of lessons. But But you can't, we can't all be doing that anymore. There was some aftermath of the election. Was I ended up losing it to a Catter Party, one of Bob's boys, the seat up here, and but they were very complimentary, and one of their statements was basically, you took more seats off us than anybody has done in the last 14 years. And that was just standing up, being honest, and saying it like it is. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's only the coppers that don't like you doing it.
But you pushed all that aside and stood up for what you believe in. Good on you.
Yeah, no, that's it. And it really was a good. And I'm doing it for my club brothers and just standing up there. In the main thing, I've got the interests of my club at heart, and I just want to. I will be making an application shortly to get them removed from the list, from the schedule. It's just a simple schedule that names them as a club. We're there because of secret evidence, secret evidence that they got against us, and they won't divulge. But we will be certainly lobbying to get removed from that schedule.
Okay, now, friend request.
Tap the friends icon up there, invite some of your mates, invite all your mates. Type them a quick message to tell them that we are awesome and hit that send button.
Do you want to invite a friend to watch?
Okay, now, friend request.
A few guests online now, a couple of shout outs. Trudy Moulders, who posted Bill of Rights, and I saw that come up, and after that Stewy mentioned the Bill of Rights. So Victoria has a Bill of Rights, like you correctly stated, and yeah, we probably should look at having it all over the country, and people should get behind that. And there's a good call to action from Stewy there. Go and see your local member of parliament, and that could be something that you can that we can talk about. Also online, I noticed Mr. Peter Budd. How you going, Pete? Pete, His Excellency, is the Australian Foreign Minister to Nepal, and the guy who helped us out with the launch over there. And yeah, good to see you on, Pete, and hope you're going well over there. There was another one, an anonymous Facebook user, so it had no name, so I don't know what the story is with that. It said you can thank the Banditos for Vlad laws. Well, that's an interesting point, because I know that the police, or the media, sorry, is quite happy to pit one club against the other, and it's actually not worked that way. The clubs, if anything, are more united than they've ever been before. They've got the UMC in Queensland. There's the UMC in every state, I think, and they all get together and talk, and heads of these clubs have regular meetings, which they'd never done in the past. So it's sort of counterintuitive, I guess, from their point of view. Prickle posted an awesome link to the Criminal Defamation Act. One for you, Stewy, so you check that out in a minute when you can. And look, I know Stewy and I can crap on when we get together, but we'll keep you going for a little bit longer if that's okay. Stick around, folks.
Just let me say this one, like you said, we're not, the club's certainly not Odin's Warriors. We're not crying poor as us, woe as us or anything like that. We've been badly done by. We're just trying to wake the people up to the fact that it's not us in this, it's the whole bloody country, right? And it's anybody that puts their hand up, and minorities can win, they can get through. If you look at the marriage equality thing, like I think only 3% of Australians are gay or lesbian or whatever they are, but they got their rights up, and they got their rights up by lobbying, by getting the right people there, by lobbying and talking, and we can do the same.
And that's it, and that's a really good point. Neither of us are gay, but do we give a shit whether gays get married? So instead of there's been a trend in Australia and I don't know if social media is partly to blame or what, but to just become haters. You know what I mean? There's people you see them driving along in their car and they're like swerving at push bikes because they hate push bike riders. The push bike riders drive cars as well. They're people. They're Australians. You know what I mean?
They'll honestly, they'll ban strawberry ice cream for some reason shortly. You can see it coming. I don't like it anyway. I hate it. Let's get a movement going to ban strawberry ice cream, mate. Can you start a page on that, Benno?
Yeah, no worries, mate. Yeah.
That'll distract them for a while, mate, and we'll get some colours back on this.
Yeah.
But it's honestly
cookies and cream.
Yeah, I had one copper pull me up, and and I said, "What's all this crap for, mate?" He goes, "Oh, just intel, mate. Just the Sarge sent me down to get some details." I said, "Tell the friggin' Sarge to get down here. I'll tell him everything he wants. I don't care." And he goes, "Oh, no." I said, "No, what's it for, mate?" And he said, "Oh, the old wink, the drug thing, the drug thing." And I said, what do you mean, like drug dealer?" And he goes, yeah, like. And I said, "Mate, every drug dealer I know drives a white Commodore, wears sunglasses and a white T-shirt." I said, why the hell would we be a drug dealer and run around on big, loud Harley Davidsons and wear colours and, that much bling on us? Yeah, just crap. Wake up to yourself. People need to start thinking and questioning the facts. It's as simple as that. Do a fact check.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Do a fact check.
Yeah, use a bit of common sense.
Yeah.
Stewy, thanks again for stopping in and sharing your vast wealth of knowledge with us. It's been great to talk to you and hope to have you back on the show sometime.
Yeah, Benno, I'll come back any time, mate, if you want to have a look at something or have a talk about anything. And thank you very much for the opportunity, of course, giving us a chance to put our piece across and say something. And I think you still owe me half a bottle of Jack Daniels, mate, next time I come over the West.
No
you
worries,
can have the
buddy.
other half.
Oh, look, it's awesome to have Stewy along. And look, if anybody's got anything interesting to say, and it doesn't have to be political or about the laws or anything like that, just something to do with motorcycling. If you've got a bike that you're building that we can cover, or you've got an awesome drag bike, or something that's motorcycle related that you want to see on the show, drop us a line. Even if it's you yourself or someone you know, or just something that you're generally interested in. Look, let us know. A few more shout-outs. G'day. Trudy said g'day as well. How you going? And I'm not sure if this one went through before, but His Excellency Pete Budd, the Foreign Minister for Nepal, Australian Foreign Minister in Nepal, and we caught up and had a good night one night at the launch of Hunter Motorcycles in Nepal. Great night over there. And g'day, Pete. Thanks for joining us. And look, thanks all you guys. Prickle's back on and he's posted a couple more links there. So look through the comments, scroll through, and you'll find some interesting stuff. It's been a pretty long show today. Like Stewy and I can crap on when we get going, that's for sure. And look, I'm going to play you out with the news if you missed it. Just some highlights, and well, really, I'm just showing off because I want you to see my new news studio. All right, catch you guys.